Right now, your brain is being hijacked, and you don't even know it. In the last 24 hours, your amygdala has been triggered at least 47 times by people who understand how to bypass your rational thinking. Your emotions have been weaponized against you. Your decision-making has been compromised. And here's the most terrifying part. You think every choice you made was yours. Did you know that when your brain is emotionally hijacked, your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for critical thinking, shuts down? For those crucial seconds or minutes, you're not making rational decisions. You're responding to psychological triggers that manipulators have deliberately activated. And once they understand how to hijack your mind, they can control your behavior without you ever realizing what's happening. In the next 30 minutes, I will expose exactly how your mind gets hijacked, reveal the neurological mechanisms that make influence so powerful, and show you how to recognize when someone is attempting to take control of your mental processes. But I need to warn you, once you understand these mechanisms, you'll never trust your immediate emotional reactions the same way again. Welcome back to Shadow Psyche, where we expose the daily dark psychology tactics used against you and teach you how to protect yourself. I'm Brian, and over the past 15 years, I've studied the neurological and psychological mechanisms that allow some people to gain control over others' minds and decision-making processes. Today, we're diving deep into mental hijacking, how your brain's natural processes are exploited to control your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. This isn't just about persuasion or influence. It's about understanding how your neural pathways can be weaponized against you by anyone who understands the science of mental manipulation. By the end of this video, you'll understand precisely how mental hijacking works, recognize the specific triggers being used against you, and have a complete framework for maintaining control over your mental processes, even when under a psychological attack. But first, let me be clear. This information is for protection and awareness only. We teach recognition and defense, never manipulation or exploitation of others. The neuroscience of mental hijacking, the amygdala takeover process. To understand how your mind gets hijacked, you need to understand what happens in your brain during emotional manipulation. At the center of this process is your amygdala, two almond-shaped structures in your limbic system that serve as your brain's alarm system. When the amygdala perceives a threat, it can take control of your nervous system in milliseconds. During an amygdala hijack, your brain floods with stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. Your heart rate increases, your breathing changes, and most importantly, your prefrontal cortex, the rational, thinking part of your brain, goes offline. This creates a window of vulnerability where you're operating on pure emotion without the benefit of logical analysis. Manipulators understand this process and deliberately trigger amygdala responses to create states where you're more susceptible to their influence. They might use fear, anger, excitement, or even positive emotions like love and gratitude to hijack your rational thinking and make you more compliant with their agenda. The automatic response system. Your brain operates on what psychologists call automatic behavioral scripts, pre-programmed responses that help you navigate social situations quickly without analyzing every interaction. These mental shortcuts, called heuristics, are generally helpful because they allow you to make fast decisions in complex situations. However, these same automatic responses become weapons when someone understands how to trigger them artificially. When you hear certain words, see specific symbols, or encounter particular social situations, your brain automatically activates these scripts without conscious thought, Skilled manipulators know which triggers activate which responses and use this knowledge to control their behavior. For example, when someone says, "Everyone else is doing this," your brain automatically activates social conformity scripts. When someone claims to be an authority figure, your brain activates deference scripts. When someone creates artificial scarcity, your brain activates acquisition scripts. These responses happen so quickly that you often comply before your conscious mind has time to evaluate whether compliance is in your best interest. The cognitive load factor. Mental hijacking becomes even more effective when your cognitive resources are already depleted. When you're tired, stressed, overwhelmed, or dealing with multiple decisions, your brain has less capacity for critical thinking. This state, called cognitive load, makes you much more vulnerable to manipulation because you don't have the mental energy to analyze what's happening to you. Manipulators often deliberately create cognitive overload by bombarding you with information, creating time pressure, or introducing multiple stressors simultaneously. When your brain is overwhelmed, it defaults to automatic responses and becomes much more susceptible to influence techniques that would generally be ineffective. The 5 pathways of mental control. Pathway 1. Emotional flooding. The first pathway to mental hijacking involves overwhelming your emotional system to shut down rational thinking. This technique deliberately triggers intense emotions, fear, anger, excitement, love, or guilt, to create a state where logic becomes secondary to feeling. Emotional flooding works because intense emotions change your brain chemistry. When you're highly emotional, your amygdala releases chemicals that suppress activity in your prefrontal cortex. This creates a temporary state where you're much more likely to make decisions based on how you feel, rather than what makes logical sense. Manipulators use emotional flooding in various ways. They might create artificial crises that trigger fear and urgency. They might use love bombing to create intense positive emotions that cloud your judgment. They might provoke anger to make you react defensively rather than thinking strategically. The key is that they're deliberately creating emotional states that serve their purposes, not yours. Pathway 2. Cognitive overload. The second pathway involves overwhelming your thinking capacity with too much information, too many choices, or too much complexity. When overloaded, your brain starts taking shortcuts and becomes much more susceptible to suggestion and influence. This technique works by exploiting your brain's limited processing capacity. You can only consciously analyze certain information at any given time. When that capacity is exceeded, your brain relies on heuristics and automatic responses rather than careful analysis. Manipulators create cognitive overload through information dumping, presenting too many options simultaneously, creating artificial time pressure, or introducing irrelevant complexity to simple decisions. While you're struggling to process all this information, they slip into their real agenda, which you'll likely accept because you don't have the mental resources to evaluate it properly. Pathway 3. Social pressure activation. The third pathway exploits your brain's deep-seated need for social acceptance and belonging. Humans are fundamentally social creatures, and your brain is wired to prioritize group acceptance over individual judgment in many situations. Manipulators exploit this by creating artificial social pressure that makes compliance seem necessary for acceptance. This pathway works by triggering your brain's social pain response. When you feel like you might be rejected or excluded from a group, your brain experiences this as a genuine threat to survival. The anterior cingulate cortex, which processes social pain, uses the same neural pathways as physical pain. This means social rejection hurts, creating powerful motivation to conform. Manipulators activate this pathway by creating artificial consensus, using peer pressure, threatening social exclusion, or positioning themselves as gatekeepers to social acceptance. They make you feel like compliance is necessary to maintain your social standing or relationships. Pathway 4. Authority hijacking. The fourth pathway exploits your brain's automatic deference to authority figures. Throughout human evolution, following legitimate authority often meant survival, so your brain is programmed to reduce critical thinking when it perceives someone as an authority figure. This hijacking works because authority recognition happens automatically, below conscious awareness. When your brain identifies someone as an authority, it releases chemicals that make you more compliant and less likely to question their directives. This response is so automatic that symbols like uniforms, titles, or official-looking documents can trigger it. Manipulators exploit this by borrowing authority from legitimate sources, creating false credentials, using authoritative language patterns, or positioning themselves as representatives of absolute authority figures. They understand that once your brain classifies them as an authority, your critical thinking becomes significantly impaired. Pathway 5. Reward system manipulation. The fifth pathway involves hijacking your brain's reward system, the neurological mechanisms that motivate you to seek pleasure and avoid pain. This system, centered around the neurotransmitter dopamine, can be artificially triggered to create powerful motivation to comply with a manipulator's agenda. This pathway works by creating artificial reward schedules that make compliance feel good and resistance feel bad. Manipulators might use intermittent reinforcement, where rewards are given unpredictably, producing an addiction-like response. They might create artificial achievements or progress markers that trigger dopamine release when you do what you want. The reward system can also be hijacked through artificial scarcity, which triggers your brain's acquisition instincts, or through social rewards like praise and recognition that make you crave more approval from the manipulator. The hijacking process, from trigger to control. Stage 1. Target assessment and vulnerability identification. Mental hijacking doesn't happen randomly. It's a systematic process that begins with the manipulator assessing your specific vulnerabilities. Skilled manipulators are experts at reading people and identifying which psychological triggers are most likely effective with each target. They look for signs of stress, fatigue, or emotional instability that indicate reduced cognitive capacity. They observe your social connections and relationships to understand what social pressure might be adequate. They listen to how you talk about authority figures to understand your relationship with power and control. Most importantly, they identify your core values, fears, and desires. What do you care most about? What are you most afraid of losing? What do you want most desperately? Once they understand your psychological landscape, they can design influence attempts targeting your vulnerabilities. Stage 2. Environmental preparation and context control. Before attempting to hijack your mind, sophisticated manipulators prepare the environment to maximize their chances of success. They control as many variables as possible to create conditions that favor their influence attempts. This might involve choosing specific locations that create psychological pressure, crowded spaces that increase stress, isolated locations that increase dependency, or impressive settings that enhance their perceived authority. They might control timing, approaching you when you're tired, stressed, or dealing with other problems that reduce your cognitive capacity. They also prepare the social context, potentially involving other people supporting their narrative or creating additional pressure. They might arrange for testimonials, bring allies who will agree with them, or create situations where disagreeing with them seems socially awkward or costly. Stage 3. Trigger activation and rational bypass. Once the conditions are right, the manipulator activates specific psychological triggers to bypass your rational thinking. This is the moment of actual hijacking, where your normal decision-making processes are compromised or shut down entirely. The trigger might be emotional, creating fear, excitement, anger, or guilt that floods your system and impairs logical thinking. Cognitive, overwhelming you with information or complexity that exceeds your processing capacity. It might be social, creating pressure to conform or threatening exclusion if you don't comply. The key is that these triggers happen quickly, often before you realize what's happening. When you notice something wrong, your brain chemistry has already been altered, and your decision-making capacity has been compromised. Stage 4. Suggestion implementation and compliance extraction. While your rational thinking is impaired, the manipulator implements their actual agenda. This is when they make their real request, present their actual offer, or push for the decision they want you to make. Because your critical thinking is compromised, you're much more likely to comply with requests you usually refuse. The suggestion is often presented as the obvious solution to the problem they've created, the natural response to the emotions they've triggered, or the socially appropriate action given the pressure they've applied. They make compliance seem like the logical, necessary, or inevitable choice. This stage often happens quickly, while your brain is still hijacked. The manipulator understands that they have a limited window of opportunity before your rational thinking comes back online and you start questioning what's happening. Stage 5. Commitment solidification and resistance prevention. The final stage involves getting you to commit to the decision. At the same time, if your judgment is still impaired, then use psychological techniques to prevent you from changing your mind once your rational thinking returns. This might involve getting you to make public commitments, sign documents, or take actions that create psychological investment in the decision. They might also use techniques to make you feel like the decision was entirely your own, reducing the likelihood that you'll recognize the manipulation later. They want you to believe that you made a free choice based on your analysis, not that you were psychologically manipulated into compliance. Recognizing and resisting mental hijacking. The early warning system. The first step in protecting yourself from mental hijacking is developing awareness of your psychological state. Learn to recognize the physical and emotional signs that your brain is being manipulated. Sudden changes in heart rate or breathing, feeling pressured to make quick decisions, experiencing intense emotions that seem disproportionate to the situation, or noticing that your thinking feels cloudy or confused. Pay attention to environmental factors that increase vulnerability. High-stress situations, time pressure, information overload, or social pressure. When you notice these conditions, consciously increase your guard and slow your decision-making process. The circuit breaker technique. When you suspect someone is attempting to hijack your mental processes, implement the circuit breaker technique. This involves deliberately interrupting the manipulation process to give your rational mind time to come back online. Say phrases like, "I need some time to think about this," "Let me sleep on it and get back to you," or "I want to discuss this with someone I trust before deciding." These phrases buy you time and often reveal the manipulator's true intentions. Legitimate requests can wait, while manipulative ones usually can't. The reality check protocol. Develop a systematic way to verify your perceptions when you suspect manipulation. Ask yourself, am I being pressured to decide quickly? Are my emotions being deliberately triggered? Is someone trying to prevent me from getting outside input? Does this decision serve my actual interests or someone else's? Create a support network of trusted people who can provide reality checks when you're unsure about a situation. Sometimes an outside perspective can see manipulation you can't recognize from inside the problem. Building psychological immunity. Long-term protection requires building what I call psychological immunity. The mental strength and awareness to resist manipulation attempts, even when they're skillfully executed. This involves regular self-reflection to understand your vulnerabilities, stress management techniques that maintain your cognitive capacity under pressure, and boundary-setting skills that prevent others from controlling your decision-making environment. Practice making decisions slowly and deliberately, especially when emotions are involved. Learn to separate your emotional responses from your logical analysis, and always give yourself time to consider important decisions when you're in a calm, rational state. Now that you understand how mental hijacking works, here's your immediate protection protocol. Action Step 1: the Hijacking Awareness Exercise. For the next week, pay attention to moments when you feel pressured to make quick decisions, or when your emotions suddenly spike during interactions with others. Keep a simple log. What was happening? Who was involved? What emotions you felt? And what decision you were being pushed to make. This builds awareness of manipulation attempts in your daily life. Action Step 2: the 24-hour rule implementation. Starting today, implement a 24-hour waiting period for any significant decision that involves another person's request or pressure. When someone wants you to commit to something important, say, "I need 24 hours to consider this properly." Use this time to analyze the situation when your emotions have settled and your rational thinking is fully engaged. Action Step 3: the Support Network Activation. Identify 3 people in your life whom you trust completely and who have never shown signs of manipulating you. When you're facing a significant decision or feeling pressured by someone, reach out to one of these people for a reality check. Sometimes, an outside perspective can immediately identify manipulation you can't see from inside the situation. This week's challenge: practice the phrase, "That's an interesting perspective, but I need to think about it before responding," whenever someone tries to get you to agree with something immediately. Use this phrase at least 5 times this week in different situations. Notice how people respond. Legitimate communicators will respect your need to think, while manipulators often increase pressure. I want to hear from you about your experiences with mental hijacking, but please be careful about what you share publicly. In the comments below, tell me about a time when you realized your emotions were being deliberately triggered to influence your decisions. Don't share specific details about people in your life, but let us know which concepts from this video helped you understand confusing experiences you've had. If this video helped you recognize how your mind can be hijacked and controlled, consider sharing it with someone you trust. Understanding these neurological mechanisms is crucial for maintaining mental freedom in a world full of people who want to control your thoughts and decisions. Next week, we're exploring the compliance ladder. How manipulators use small requests to lead you into major exploitation. You'll learn to recognize this technique before your consistency traps you. If you found this deep dive into mental hijacking valuable, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We post new protection strategies every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and each video builds on the previous ones to create a complete psychological defense system. Give this video a thumbs up if it helped you understand how others can control and manipulate your brain. Your engagement helps us reach more people needing this critical mental protection information. For those ready to go deeper into understanding and defending against mental manipulation, check out our complete dark psychology defense playlist. We cover everything from recognizing emotional triggers to building unshakable mental boundaries. Each video provides specific, actionable strategies for protecting your mind in different environments. Remember, understanding mental hijacking isn't about becoming paranoid or suspicious of everyone. It's about maintaining conscious control over your cognitive processes and decision-making. Your mind is your most valuable asset. Learn to protect it from those exploiting it for their gain. Stay protected, stay aware, and remember, your thoughts and decisions should serve your interests, not someone else's agenda. I'll see you in the following video, where we'll explore how small commitments lead to significant manipulation.